me mame Irene Ansa Asari rector at Mount Crest University and executive committee member our Council of Independent Universities komo our Zoom memwachi
yeah James me mamachi mamutie phone nyina so machi
ma kacha ye wakoye rector say me say private university there where di mu akotenia yen shase free say net ye for appreciate where we are coming from kacha ye ade pa na ban ya every say ama private universities no mo nkita hudie ne mo ho say ye hyehye no entimi nyete say de say mo ye no
yeah na ye pese tie for dream say ye ne aban e wasem nti de woman ne say nhihye bia wo ho a aban de ba regulations bia wo mo de ba through the regulator Ghana Tertiary Education Commission and Ministry of Education no omo de ba say public universities won a say private universities and so kan pepepe nti asema ye kan ne say regulations ni bemwa the effect na public universities ne so no and yet the same as the effect private universities ne so nti regulation after regulation private universities more because they need the same level of support public universities enya efi aban ho no yen kan say omo regulations na enye but as say omo hwe say effects na emma private universities no as say omo hwe na playing field no ye level na yen so de betimi aye aboa oman no because education there a shared responsibility public universities or private universities so yenya ye educate oman no nti say na be ya yenyina ye benya equal level playing field no eno na e ka fitete regulation bia bia e kan more in public universities no because you need the same level of government support.
All right, ma yebeka regulations no yebekom yebedomu suko na afi ni ahwe program samorania public universities ni bia ana ekamo no but ma menti we fru ansa na yakoho enkofo say suggest say sa free entry ya abai aban di abaya yesi obi abeko university our first year no aban pia usika ma free no yes as a private universities no betimi akamo ama mo enrollment na a drop kakra eno no ho asam te say
nti eno so ye that kind of regulation na America no say omo ye regulation na omo hwe say private universities and so sign na besi akan afa nti yemfa ne say free entry a ye ken aban subsidize for public universities by making it free for more. The same way some pay entry levels are enrollment for private universities no as I said governments etimi at the private universities and so I can say na beya say a free first year entry for students are any free across board which means say government should also support the private universities to be able to absorb all these students. Say na private universities say you finance Saji for first year students no otherwise no I mean say if you are given the choice say ko but the other place say no and say their private universities na offer no more expensive offer quality education the difference and they say government you can't free and free sir government and that is what it means government subsidize it so what it means is that private universities don't get that support from government into a kind universities no and assign students no students no the choice and they say a particular private university but because of the difficulty with funding na available for private universities no enrollments and enrollments of private universities no that is where all our funding comes from abayin man is kanibi inti say students and na the same students na ya bre ho ya programs say innovative omo beba no they've been attracted away by this offer of free entry. No, Yenkase is a bad thing. We are saying, say, the support should be uniform. Na yen nyina yemboa na yemfa educate yemani. You can't free. The message has to be clear. It's like free does not mean free. It means that government is the one paying for it.
Okay, the man yen shadi we see. See a share what kind Ghana constitution article 25 no. Eka bibidifa the free secondary education. See a bit me I say progressively. It will share on a parliament a constitutional provision and a share and say a bit me free senior high school. But it is a was a Ghana near Korea bia a say otimi enjoy the free secondary education. It is a better say free senior high school no. Say yes someone and no make crime to be their court because a Ghana near Korea. But when the yakwa say a party be an answer about being the policy, it is not captured in the constitution. So in this case, no, say a buying a yin and nina se bia more dear basma more can mu plea, say a buying what will be your next step? And I say, come on, Ben, I'm a person money are buying the other found.
Oh, okay. My two question I say. One thing, CIU, Council for Independent Universities, one thing we believe in, any dialogue, stakeholder dialogue. Nyaya kan say we enye ekwasem, enya asem bia na emaso aye de kokot. Inti say nim what the constitution is saying. Progressively nature say it's me kwa kusi. If we can afford it as a country, why not? It's me kwa kusi. Say education there at the basic level, no, a free compulsory, and then as we go along, no, where government can help, no, we can. And as a Council for Independent Universities, we are calling for stakeholder dialogue. Yeah, can say before these policies are rolled out, no, it is essential. Say, this is the way forward. I think education ye bibia and say ye politicize it, and say ye partisan. And say I can say a buying way na banti near ye say. As I say a national plan because education touches the nation. Inti and no dear say ye kasa na government and tia. What we want to do is to keep knocking on the door of the stakeholders. Yani GTech, it's nasi. Yani Ministry of Education, it's nasi. Yani public universities, Vice Chancellors Ghana, it's nasi. And at CIU, Council for Independent Universities, and at PUFA, Private Universities Founders Association. Yenina ye stakeholders, including students and CASA. Yenina ye stakeholder meeting. One thing I'll say is say, government generally, dear with the stakeholder engagement. Just say about a bit late, a reactionary. We are saying, say, answer na mobeyeno. Yenya yentnase na yenya stakeholder engagements in fanko forward. But yenya combative. Yenya combative. Yebeshe ne solve a problem. They have to listen to private universities' views.
Now, Mama and Kofor say, private universities no monana as a school fees ne born near Denny, into Semetewana me free say, he say, I bind the Bama Mequadia, and then I say Mequaba, and I say, no, a perception being and Kofobi war, and then Kofobi a too good system no, just to confuse people.
Okay. Into one thing that needs to be made clear, and it's say education is not free. As I say, education free, no free. Say there is no cost to it. Education is not free. You can't free. What we mean is that government is paying for it. Let's get that thing right. The true cost of education, how much it costs for us to actually deliver that education. Into private universities fees, you can't say private universities fees. Now, we benchmark it by international standards. Our fees are actually on the low side because the owners of these universities, the stakeholders of these private universities, to say are buying a subsidized fees, public, owners of private universities, any stakeholders, any shareholders, and so subsidize it. Education, sika komo pan. And I can even vouch for myself as part of private universities, it is not cheap. Yes, nobody in private university business is in it for profit. It's for the good, it's for a public good. Into private universities fees, and let's get that mentality out of our minds. It is the basic cost of education. Just because government affects sa cost no doesn't mean say e free. Into men person crofo dream who say omo fa ne kwa into no omo ko ha no. Ese so omo kai say obi na etua. Into no say private universities so offer programs are innovative. I say kai say programs na private universities na. Enye nyina na public universities no. Ye nyina ye complement de ba kon ye no obi so foforo so ye bibi foforo. Into the cost ne de say me Ghana 40 as say fees na private universities no wo Ghana ha no ye benchmark ya nkofo de mo makwa abriche fees no mo tua wo no. That's the true cost. That is really say we call a broche say we call akoye law now we have £25,000 and no che say law now we ye Ghana no. The true cost is £25,000. Obi na etua ma wontia nti say
I see. And I'm also more the sika na bo university no ho ebra because I bind they say I bind sika and I'm also the be a content crowd nipa ba kofo bi na na mama me bisa say the Education Regulatory Bodies Act no a passing in 2020 no. That's Act 1023 no. Me say ye de ba ya na so be kaya the charter the application fee for charter you know a charter fee no the free 600 million which is 60,000 to 70,000 nini na no ebebe gumu so abutua se a fee de na kodru say
se no ye ni age se ye kasa ye no aban etie ye se ne ye kase aban ni ye kwa ehia a ye ka charter yi ho asem nti esia ye be mamo aso ate ne eba wo but the point they say even the road to charter no very onerous sika woman na enye sika ketwa and I want me pass sa sika no on and so sa fees no on and so to the students international say private universities nankasa are bearing that cost. But the process itself is an expensive process and an act nankasa no sign law netino compulsory say SSA charter. But private universities enye womu nyina no mo pese omo charter bebre womu a omo nse da nya ready some be charter bebre nso womu a omo nyaaya anka omo ne omo affiliates no University of Ghana, KNUST, Cape Coast University, other affiliates no ebe koso aye juma san na ye juma together collaboratively into san common no ye da so di but no kre womu ne say the way the act came about and they say na implementing no private universities and I remember back then I sounded a word of caution say enya dia ye nyina ye betimi comply and truly abim ye nyina ye ntimi anye within the set time na ye man because it is a very expensive process and apart from expense no regulatory elements no compliance elements no and hand holding ni mentoring ni here no na ye nyina ye nwie ye omo edru no omo enya omo ndru ye no so omo guso nti ye na ban no kasa ye do ma se omo tie ye
okay yene Yamamin Arwin and San Asari rector at Mount Crest University and executive committee member of Council of Independent Universities and I NNH Common. Now mama adia baako nipa bebre ka ho asem amamo private universities no mo suffer pa ne say ebia na me ebia mama Arwin abia university na nyame aso no da ye no akwa course bi diaba sa course ya fedie attracting the bebre ma enrollment ne cost obi apeso ye sa course ni because ne da chinti eboa afo be na o mada university ne public university na bia ya affiliated to no wasi jaye baby ase no age ko no ye na afei wasa tru nipa ni na ko sa asem na ho asem te sei ya de da so ho a omode tete mu ana se na de na ɛda so wɔ hɔ a ɛdeɛ na mo atena se a mo pɛ sɛ mo yɛ edi si saa no saa deɛ na no kwan
nti saa asɛm no korɛ ɛwɔ hɔ deɛ na sɛ yɛkyerɛkyerɛ mu kakra na nkurɔfoɔ te ase bia na ɔmo ate ase sɛ ɛnyɛ sɛ ɔmo ahyɛ da ɔmo yɛ yɛn bɔne but the outcome ɛne sɛ effect na yɛ negative ɔyɛ so nti sɛ mekyerɛ mu say a private universities ɔmo nkyataeɛ no yɛntimi award degree nti yɛmfa ne sɛ Mount Crest University College yɛyɛ university college a yɛhyɛ Kwame Nkrumah University in Science and Technology ase nti our degrees are awarded by KNUST sister universities no nso saa private universities no ɔmo nkyataeɛ no obi ɛna award saa degrees no nti ansa na wɔde course bɛkɔ no bia course na ɔpɛ sɛ wɔyɛ no wo mentoring university no ɔnyɛ saa course ne bi nti no ɛsɛ sɛ mo go through how you even put the course together na mo make sure say mentoring university no betimi a mentor mo to award that degree and that's the first point. The second point and it says say edru baby na omo hwɛ say nea mo ye no bia atra omo capability in terms of what they themselves are doing betimi aka say yentimi nko that far nti yes no you are restricted. Innovative courses ne de no kreni private universities are restricted because your mentoring university no if it is a university based on engineering and science into what the arts type of courses banner so omonye comfortable and adiombe awarded degree no but the worst part a woman say and a sida me sure say a course where see say atna senior courses na wie no sometimes no before our private university we benya kwan aye no na ayet say te say omo test and sana hwe say omo betimi award this degree na and then carry it on to you. It is that process and sometimes etra one hwe ya na obia akọ public university no ho one hwe ya na private university na ono ni innovative idea no because you can't even keep these ideas to yourself. You have to share them very, very early because won't me award degree. A honor restriction no. Inti say sisa sometimes no they kind of say inadvertent. And yes say yes share that say public universities ne share that say omu real course no. But the effect and they say omu no omu award degree no na e could draw mo ho na omu share na course ne ya why not? Omoberani bi inti eninti na ya ebanesano but a ha private universities because we have our own unique areas because yen award degree ninti yentimi emfa ya yepe enye ne sena yen yepese ye no
mama ne yenhwa sade we say ye de enkomo ne ba na wie but yenhwa sade we say se e kan Ghana ye Public and Private Partnership Act no 2020 that's Act 1039 wo hwe Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act 2013 Act 865 ye hwe the Company Act 2019 Act 992 no wo kan ni na ya koye se kontonkra bi ye ni bibi na eboa oman no yamane tax rebate bu ne ade afei aban fa kwati kwa bi so etibi support na ne ade minimum say private universities no most of bia more equipment materials so de ye adwuma bia screens laboratory no ma mokokra fi abruchire ene de ba eba ha bo ho aban tibi ka say okay since you dey ban no would create employment e de maye afei bia KNUST University ni Legon Cape Coast University programs aye no ebia yentimi anfom ni na nipa na broso eti wo no beji sankofo no arane sanko the same ni bi no o support na ya amoma mo tax ayi wo ho ebia tax free and asa ban support mo ha bone sa you know te say the others ni enjoy no
into the problem ye wo private universities and say the way we are set up public universities are set up by act of parliament into parliamentary acts na wo from this day you are university. Dear no. Companies first and foremost. We are set up under the Companies Act. Intino, whatever a normal company any company the same in the eyes of the Companies Act. Intino, private universities, as long as we are viewed as companies in the same way as everybody else, no, share in special treatment beer. But that is one thing that we want to draw government's attention to. Say, on the one hand, baby, abayin here yen say boy yen educate your mind there, ye be free yen yen brand yen education, public or private or yen yen. But a banno. As I said in the beginning, a ban government support ye private for any film na ye public inquire because a act of parliament and a setting it up as a public institution to deliver educational value. Dear no, then they see us as private companies, and then we have the same punishing sort of environment ye woman into the same way
I see.
About policies as businesses no so then double because as businesses and then
you don't ever say no you bet me I say private universities no I am boka na say munyeska
oh yeah boka
oh I see
a card ye boka but private universities no bebre be a woman no are supported by foundations, churches near there. No, even though omo boka in their day-to-day running no in sorry na say religious institutions or charitable institutions na support you omo e come pa those who are founded by individuals. The Emfane say Miami institution founded by an individual. Other institutions say are founded by individuals and church backed. So that charitable omo rebates by reason of being a charitable institution. Yes. But private companies no. Your losses to say na ordinary private companies losses.
Wow.
But investment is very high. Investment in education, even before you can register, as I see how the basic school, as I say, near share, school no betting expand there. So you can't even start a school without showing said that should be in 50 years' time, as I see when near Kwakusi school. So all those things, no, people don't realize say, omo afane se omo cross, so omo person omo join the education industry, no, in higher education. It is a huge investment. Into yetimi bokadie. But one day, ultimately, the profits bebe more. Usually, it comes back into the institution. It depending on the way it is set up.
Okay. Mama, where you better say pa. But before I be kono mami musa wo. Se befa se bi enne wanya akonya na wuhia Honorable Haruna Idrisu oye education minister. Wushia Ura Jinapo, Professor Jinapo, GTech boss, and President Mahama. And when your opportunity now on one more at one table. And you say, Mahia Sem Patroma, a dear son and Kabe Catchoma near Futu Bay.
Asema Meka Choma say, education is a national collaborative effort. Intino, private universities as an equal partner. Just as public universities and our industry, boom, government, universities and industry, whether private or public, boom, secure higher education, tertiary education system. Agana be
Mama beda se pa yes mo so amonya publicity personality publicity because oko be biti say GIJ obeko use the picture boho Ronald Walker picture boho Porsche double picture boho most so no nkofo a nyame na moso a omo na mo universities no various universities no abia omo pie no nyame nyame picture omo no aya mo advertise omo kakra na ehyen nkofo nkra say osumasi sa oba ha we ba yes aya mo nye de bia no ma mo ho sa aya mo nya why yes ye bobo jama mam because more bre pa
papa say mo kan asema man
yeah that's it mama beda say e be sem ye be sa atwetwe e be sa afro ne atwetwe nkomo biem all right thank you very much all right we ye mame Arwin Ansa Asari rector at Mount Crest Invest